To another episode. So I just finished watching The Sixth Sense after, I don't know, not watching it or seeing it in like countless years, or give or take. But yeah, it's a good movie, for one. Two, it's a classic. Three, everything pretty much holds up to this day. But when, I don't know, like, there's something I was thinking about when I was watching this movie. And something I've noticed. Even though I haven't seen it in like years or give or take whatnot, it raises some suspicions on whether or not it is a sequel to Legion, the movie, because I've done a full Legion movie review. I've done a full season of Legion review. I've done episode by episode breakdown of Legion. But what I have not done is a review slash theory of Legion. But I just want to say this. Okay. So the basics of Legion is he was born. His father wasn't really around, or isn't around. Right? He was adopted, which makes sense because it is a format of Legion, right? Or I believe that's what was in the comics. But then again, it is an M. Night Shyamalan movie. So, what The Sixth Sense is an M. Night Shyamalan movie. Legion, however, is a Marvel mutant X-Men movie slash property. Now, this, I don't know if it's accurate, but in Legion Season 1, we see David, and we see him throughout the years, right? Like I've said in the Legion, how it is all connected to the movie and how it plays out. So, we see David as a baby with his adoptive parents, right? He's about 30 years old, right? If he's 30 years old by the start of the series starting out, or the show, or the series, from the first episode to the 8th episode, right? And so that would make him in the 90s same age as Cole, aka Haley Joel Osment's character in The Sixth Sense, which is around 9, 10, 11, possibly. So it would make sense that he's 30 years old. And let's talk about the powers these two share. Now, David can see spirits, right? He's an Omega level mutant. Cole, I believe is his name. He can see spirits, ghosts, demons, angels, all that good jazz, which is a part of David's character arc, or David's character, or aka Legion, plus countless other powers. So, what if, right? Just hear this theory out, right? What if David is actually Haley Joel Osment as a 9, 10, 11-year-old boy? And he's just starting to get into his powers, or he's finally accepting his psychic ability to see things. Because in the movie of Legion, he's not even born yet, or he's about to be born, like in the first 2 acts of the movie. But by the end of the third act, or by the third act, David is born, or the baby we know as David is born. So if he's born in, let's say, California, or the outskirts of California, between LA and some other Californian city, what is not to say he did get adopted, moved to New York, which The Sixth Sense is based in, and then he finds out that he is, or he tells his mother he sees the dead, or spirits, quote unquote, and something happens after The Sixth Sense, so he gets put into another foster care or whatever, or maybe David is still living with his adopted mother, and in the city, because the divorce of the stepmother, or the adopted mother, and the father has a big effect on him when he was like 5, 6, 7 years old. And he finds this dead doctor who gets shot and dies, but he doesn't know he's dead until the very end of the movie. So maybe it's The Sixth Sense is David taking on a persona of Cole. If my memory serves me correct, that is Haley Joel Osment's name in the movie. But I'm not done yet. What if, after the events of The Sixth Sense, he's starting to get more and more powerful with his psychic ability, or his ability to see dead people or spirits, because those things never went away, or those things don't go away. So if that might be the case, what if M. Night Shyamalan's movies and the X-Men movies are highly connected, not by powers, not by the world, but by David's interpretation of the world. Because we haven't had a Sixth Sense sequel, and not that we know of anyways. But what if Legion Season 1 and Season 2 is David, aka Cole from The Sixth Sense, it's getting more powerful by the minute, by the hour, by quote unquote, as everything goes on. Because here's the similarities between. Oh yeah, I'm gonna point out some similarities between David and Cole. Alright, some more similarities. Cole's father, or the boy's father in The Sixth Sense, is not around. David. He was adopted. He was born. The movie takes place, I want to say, in the 80s, but then again, it doesn't specify on the time frame of the decade. But all we know is where he was born and his abilities. So that's all we know of, right? Come season 1, we find out that he sees spirits and he thinks he's crazy. So that might be some similarity, or a similarity between both Haley Joel Osment's character as in The Sixth Sense and David, as we know from Legion the movie and the TV series, or the TV series of Legion. So what if David saw a boy die, took his persona as whatnot, went to live with the dead boy's parent, and then 10 years later, or 10 to 20 years later, we get Legion Season 1. Because it pretty much adds up, if you think about it. Because David in Legion is not born until, like, the very end. Then, around, like, 9, 10, 11 years old, he starts to get his powers, or accepts his powers for what they are. And then by like 2017, which last year, we did get Legion Season 1. Then Season 2 came out earlier this year. So, what if those things happened, or happens, in a certain time frame? Think about it, guys. Makes perfect sense, right? Because no matter if you see visions, like, quote unquote, from my last review, or one of my last reviews of Charmed, which is a mutant-like ability, that's another form of mutation. Right? Seeing the future, that's a psychic ability, right? Or a psychic, like, power. Or, yeah, it's a mutation. Being able to read minds is a mutation, like Charles Xavier. And various other, because he can wipe minds too. He can read minds, he can talk to minds, he can freeze time with his mind. He can do a whole shitload of things with his mind. That's how powerful he is. And we do know that David can do the same thing. He can see spirits, right? Yeah, he can see spirits. And he can mentally shapeshift his face or his looks, his appearances. I believe that is in the comics, but it's not far-fetched to see M. Night Shyamalan's movies a part of the X-Men continuity, because as far as we know, they might be a part of the X-Men continuity, but we just don't know it yet, because with Glass coming out, which I'm excited for, and that's another thing I want to point out, because Glass talks about superheroes and villains and comic books, just like Unbreakable had that same premise. Well, kind of had that same premise, but it's expanded more. Split, however, might be David as a bad guy. First we see David as a baby, then we see him as a 10, 20-year-old, or 9, 10, 11-year-old kid, boy. Then we might have seen him as in Split, again, as Kevin Wendell, or Kevin Wendelin, whatever, because he does the same thing as David. He mentally shapeshifts his face, his soul. He takes on these different forms as one being, which is another possibility as a Legion David character persona. And then 30 years later, or 30 years after, it was like, I want to say 15 years after Unbreakable, because that's the time frame we're going with. So by the end of Unbreakable, he's like 15, or he's a kid, right? David is still a kid, I'm gonna say. In like high school, middle school, so on or so forth, or whatever. And then he finally aged up, right? And then we get Split. Coincidence? No. And then by that same year, which is last year, we get Legion Season 2. Different actor, then Split, then end in. So yeah. So what if? Okay? What if Legion Season 1, or Legion the movie, The Sixth Sense, Unbreakable, Part 1, Split, and Glass is all connected through David's absences and on-screen personas. It's not far-fetched, just saying, because it does make sense if you think about it, just saying. But I don't think it's, one, I don't think it's a coincidence. Two, I don't think it's far-fetched. And the similarities between each movie and TV appearances kind of fit into this, like, okay, interesting, impressive. And believe it or not, who says it's not a part of the X-Men continuity? I mean, it would make for a good conversation. M. Night Shyamalan's movies are part of the X-Men continuity and timeline. Think about it, guys. Think about it. All I'm gonna say. But anyways, that's all I have for you guys so far. Please like, share. If you want to comment. I don't know. It's up to you. But, yeah. But mostly, please like, share, subscribe, and have a good day. Bye.